Ladies and gentlemen, gather round for the grand finale of the circus that is the day before, or rather the morning after, filled with regrets. In a twist that surprised absolutely no one, the game that launched with the subtlety of a clown car crashing into a fireworks factory is finally meeting its grand demise. Drumroll please. Publisher Mytona, in a move that screams, "We're just as shocked as you are," announced on X that the day before will be gracefully pirouetting off the stage on the 22nd of January 2024. Yes, you heard that right. Just 45 days after its spectacular early access premiere, it's like closing the curtains on a Broadway show after the first act because the audience threw tomatoes at the performers. Fantastic, the maestros behind the Symphony of Chaos are not just taking a bow. They're doing a disappearing act worthy of Houdini. Their development company has officially ceased operations. Their digital footprint wiped from the internet. The day before will be as extinct as a dodo. And if you haven't requested a refund on Steam, fear not, for Steam is your fairy godfather, proactively refunding the remaining players. How thoughtful. Once upon a time, the day before was Steam's most wish-listed game. But then, like a bad magician pulling the wrong rabbit out of the hat, Fantastic got accused of a game plagiarism spree that would make even the most notorious copycat blush. They allegedly borrowed ideas from The Division, Call of Duty, Last of Us, Cyberpunk 2077, Grand Theft Auto 5. Basically, it was a successful game, it got a cameo. Then came the November 23rd delay, an indefinite one, just to keep us on the edges of our seats. The early access launch followed, and surprise surprise, players noticed that everything Fantastic promised was missing. It's like ordering a pizza and getting an empty box. Disappointment level over 9,000. But wait, the grand finale. Just 4 days post-launch, when the player count plummeted faster than a lead balloon, Fantastic decided to pull the plug. In a move as shocking as realizing your favorite magician uses trapdoors, they announced a closure. Cue the dramatic exit, stage left. In a rare IGN 1 out of 10 review, the critics said, "The day before is easily one of the worst games I've ever played. It's like receiving a participation trophy for a race you never wanted to run. So farewell the day before. May your legacy be a cautionary tale of what happens the morning after." Now for the grand spectacle that is corporate decisions. Indie publisher Versus Evil, known for giving us gems like the Banner Saga trilogy and Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire, is closing shop. But don't worry, they didn't just decide to go on a long vacation. They got the eviction notice from their parent company Tiny Build. Apparently Versus Evil's idea of a Christmas break involves unemployment. In a heartfelt tweet, Versus Evil declared, "Today is a sad day. After 10 wonderful years, Versus Evil is shutting its doors. A decade of bringing us indie wonders and now poof, they're gone. It's like breaking up with someone over text after a decade-long relationship. Very classy." Former employees couldn't resist sharing the love on social media. "Well, that was a fun 10-year ride. The entire Versus Evil team has just been laid off," said Lance James on X. But don't worry, it wasn't Versus Evil's decision. They're just victims of corporate shenanigans. Community manager Chris Trippy clarified that it was a Tiny Build call. So thanks Tiny Build for the early Christmas present. Some even took to job hunting immediately. "So if anyone knows any open roles for community management or assistant associate producer roles, I'd be happy to send my resume over," said Chris Trippy, sending out virtual SOS signals. But this drama doesn't end with Versus Evil. Atari decided to sprinkle some extra salt on the wound by announcing a $2 million investment into Tiny Build, just a day after this indie massacre. Because nothing says happy holidays like layoffs and corporate investments, right? And here's a little deja vu for you. It seems Tiny Build has been on a cost-cutting spree. A few weeks ago, Hukjuk Studios, another victim of Tiny Build's financial house cleaning, was also shut down. If you thought 2023 was a rough year for layoffs, well, Versus Evil just added the cherry on top. So here's to you versus evil for a decade of indie bliss. May you find a sequel or respawn in your next chapter. Hold on to your rocket boots, because Starfield is not exactly the stellar hit that Bethesda might have hoped for. Sure, it launched successfully, but now it seems to be on a trajectory more akin to a falling star than a rising one. Steam reviews, the ever-reliable barometer of gamer sentiment, have given Starfield a mostly negative rating. Only 37% of players are sending positive vibes to this spacefaring adventure. That's lower than the satisfaction rate of a late-night drive-through order. But now let's give credit where credit is due. Bethesda tried to shake things up with Starfield, attempting to break away from the Skyrim and Fallout molds. Bravo for innovation, standard formula for the lose, right? Well, not so fast. It appears the majority of players are not exactly thrilled with Bethesda's bold move. Starfield's heavy reliance on procedural generation seems to have sucked the magic out of the game. It's like they traded in a mystical RPG for a theme park of lifeless worlds and cities separated by loading screens. It gets even more interesting when you put Starfield in the RPG ring with Baldur's Gate 3. These two games, touted as the big RPG dogs of 2023, are like yin and yang of player satisfaction. While Baldur's Gate 3 basks in acclaim, Starfield is seemingly stuck in the dark corner of discontent. Bethesda tried to patch things up with a promising roadmap, but it seems players are not so easily swayed. Maybe they've been spoiled by the Cyberpunk 2077 resurgence or the shining success of Baldur's Gate 3. Comparisons, they say, are odious, and in this case, they're downright brutal. Starfield is being dissected, measured, and found wanting in the RPG arena. In the grand tradition of PR damage control, one of the game developers took to Twitter to defend Starfield, saying it took a lot of hard work and accusing unhappy players of being out of touch with the game's development reality. Well, that's certainly one way to win back hearts. But fear not, Bethesda hasn't abandoned ship just yet. About 250 brave souls are still toiling away on Starfield, promising us regular updates in 2024. Will it be enough to turn the tide? Only time and the whims of Steam reviewers will tell. Here's to us wishing on the falling star that is Starfield.